Hudson County View live at Uncut. I'm your host, where what you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. John Arhitis, and of course the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. So obviously the majority of the municipal races are behind us. We still have the runoff in Jersey City's Ward C, that Journal Square Heights area. So we will chat about that for a few moments today. But for the most part, things are coming down to a much calmer situation than they were for the past 2 to 3 months. Of course, today is also Veterans Day, so we want to acknowledge that and say thank you to all who have served. And beyond that, we want to talk actually a little bit what's going on in Trenton. We had a couple bills that are notable throughout the state, but were introduced by our Hudson County legislators. And one was from Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee of the 33rd District. And he actually has a bill that would have a loan program for school districts to use electric buses. So we're going to talk about what that means, what that may cost, and more. We're also going to talk about a bill from Assemblyman Nick Shravolati. He's the vice chair of the Health and Human Services Committee. Of course, his term expires in December, but he's still trying to help with people that need emergency transportation to medical appointments. So he's trying to get someone to oversee that whole process, and we're going to tell you exactly what that means. And as I do every week, I'm joined with a guest today, and we're fortunate to be joined with Jersey City Ward F Councilman-elect Frank Educational Gilmore. So all that and maybe a little bit more right after we get back from this word from our sponsors.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John Arhitis, and as advertised just a few moments ago, today I'm joined with Jersey City Ward F Councilman-elect Frank Educational Gilmore. Frank, thanks so much for coming in, and congratulations.
Thank you for having me, John. I appreciate it.
Very, very welcome. So look, obviously Ward F is a pretty nasty race, I would say. And look, it always is. Every municipal election's tough in its own way, but there was really a lot of mudslug in this one, right? I mean, they talked about your arrest record, they talked about your vaccination status, and a whole lot more. You obviously know, you were part of it.
Yes.
But you stood tall and you soldiered through it all, and you got your hand raised, a very decisive 23-point victory. So tell me how it feels to make it to this point.
It feels rejuvenated, feels good, but I'm not really one to go and take victory laps, as we really haven't done anything. I'm also looking to how can we affect change by implementing meaningful legislation. So that's what I'm looking forward to. It was a good victory. I'm thankful to all of the soldiers on the ground, all of the support that pulled in from all pockets of the ward, in all pockets of the city, in some cases, all pockets of the country. So I'm very intrigued to be here, very happy, very pleased to represent the jurisdiction of Ward F, and I just look forward to the challenge that awaits me.
So going back to when you announced your candidacy in the spring, you've been steadfast, extremely confident you were going to take this thing home, and you were going to, again, be victorious. So why were you so confident you were going to unseat an incumbent running on a popular mayor's well-funded ticket? How were you so sure you were going to come out on top here?
I'm someone that pay attention to details, right? And I knew we will be victorious because, one, I believe in the power of the people. 2, I trust my preparation. 3, I trust that what I have been doing in the community thus far is far and beyond what almost anyone else have been doing. So I was fairly confident that the community will give me a chance to represent them on an elected level. And again, I trust my preparation. I pay attention to details. I'm looking at numbers. I'm looking at the last couple elections, and I'm seeing the administration or the HCDO, I'm seeing what their strategy is, and I'm implementing a new strategy to galvanize a whole segment of voters who was very much disinterested in the electoral process. So when I'm looking at all of that, and I'm looking at what is the target vote amount you need to be victorious, I was a little off. I was actually thinking that it would be upwards of 7,000, 8,000 individuals that were going to come out and vote. But it wasn't. But I knew that as the numbers were coming in, I'm looking at data from the last 4 years. And if you look at the last 4 years, you see that it was 6 individuals running.
Yeah.
And it was indoor around 5,000 people that voted. Subsequently, this time it was 3 individuals running and over 1,000 more voters participated in this election. And that just goes to show you when I say I'm paying attention to detail, I'm galvanizing a group of individuals who doesn't necessarily partake in a political arena for a plethora of reasons. You know, some are disinterested, a bulk of them are just uneducated and didn't understand the significance behind participating in the election process. So I was pretty confident that we would be victorious, you know, just given my body of work, given my track record, right? And we hit the ground like that every single day.
Right. Okay, well, I appreciate that thorough analysis there. So you just mentioned that you're excited to hit the ground running and you want to get some pieces of legislation, get that change that the people elected you to do. So what do you think the first, maybe give me 2 or 3 things you'd like to introduce on the council once you're sworn in January?
Several things I like to introduce, but you know, my advisors have been advising me, like, you know, Frank, you have to calm down. You know, it doesn't work like that. You don't just go and, you know, get things done. You have to be able to work. You have to have the appropriate amount of votes to come through. But something that's, you know, pressing on my heart is just not so much from a legislative perspective, it's more so from an enforcement perspective, right?
Okay.
We have a lot of things that's on the book, and a lot of stuff is not really, in my opinion, properly enforced. So that's something that we would like to do within a ward. We definitely need to make sure we're addressing quality of life issues. That's a huge issue. So again, it's just the enforcement piece, and we have to get recreation up and running on all cylinders. So I'm going to take my time. You know, I'm going to comb through that budget. I'm going to make sure I'm reading everything, right? And I'm someone who I have a very good ability to, you know, grasp concepts and catch on to things early. But I do want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence and being, you know, as prepared and ready as possible to take in the information that's coming in. So when I'm looking at all of this information that's coming in, the first thing I'm looking at on everything I vote on, am I going to hurt anybody or the majority of the people in my ward by voting yes on this? Right?
Makes sense.
And that's how I'm going to attack this. So when we talk about legislation, right, and we talk about 2 or 3 items that we want to push, that we want to see come to fruition. There is already legislation out there, which I guess at some point we're going to have a CCRB. That's something that I definitely want to champion. I think that we need to hold all individuals accountable, especially individuals who essentially have the lives of other individuals at their hands. And
in fact, I gotta jump in just because we need to take another break. But we'll be right back. Sorry about that. Just give the sponsors a moment here.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Ford made their first all-electric SUV a Mustang. Rapid acceleration, reactive handling, 300-mile range. You control how it feels and how it sounds. It knows you. It dials into your preferred settings. It has an array of driver assist technology. Cameras and sensors enhance your awareness and provide you with additional control. But it's more than cutting-edge technology. It's the spirit of it. It's a Mustang.
Hudson County View live on Uncut. John R. Highness, and I'm still here with Jersey City Ward F Councilman-elect Frank Educational Gilmore. So I'm sorry I had to stop you in mid-thought there,
Yes.
Frank, but you were talking about the importance of the CCRB and two
Yeah.
other things you had in mind here.
Yeah, definitely. The CCRB, something that's going to see, accountability on the police front. And the thing about the CCRB, what we have to be cognizant for, right? Just not saying that you're anti-police or that we don't like the police, because the reality, we need the police. I don't care what anybody tell you. The reality is that we need the police, but we want to make sure that we're holding everyone accountable. And again, I look forward to working with everybody. And wow, I can't wait. I'm just extremely enthusiastic.
You
to
seem
get to
very
work for the
excited.
people. Yes, very excited, definitely.
Okay, great. So with that in mind, is there anything that maybe you didn't get to touch on throughout the election cycle and maybe that hasn't been introduced yet that is something you would like to see the council as a whole, maybe you don't have to introduce it, get tackled very early in 2022?
I don't think, I think we pretty much, we covered almost everything, as we covered a plethora of things all during the campaign trail, through all the debates and things like that. So off the bat, I can't think of anything, but just knowing what type of individual I am, as I become more comfortable and understand the nuances of the council, I'm sure it's going to be things that I think that we can do better. And the thing about me, right, is that wherever there's a problem at, I'm of the opinion that there's a solution there. So if you look at all of the legislation that have been passed, all of the good legislation that have been passed, it's been passed from a community perspective. Like, the ideas come from the community. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be leaning on the community, asking my constituency, what do they think we should be doing? Because it's not just, Frank Gilmore's seat, it's the people's seat.
So you're going to be a proactive councilman?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, have you given any thought who you're going to bring in as your aide yet?
We have interviewed several people for the aides position. Once we iron out the exact how many aides we can have, full-time versus part-time, then we will make that decision. But I'm going to tell you, I'm extremely hands-on with everything, right? And I know and understand that being a council person is a hard job. I signed up for it. But I'm hands-on with everything. So during the course of the campaign, I'm hands-on with the street team, I'm hands-on with the data team, I'm hands-on with the fundraising team, because I want to know. So whoever that person is that's going to be that aide, you can rest assured that they're going to be attentive. They're going to be paying attention to details, and more importantly, being responsive to constituents' concerns. So I could definitively tell you that, or that person won't be there that long.
Very good. Okay. So, I don't want to put a damper on the mood here, but there's this permeating rumor that's been going around for like a week and a half. And basically what it says is that there's a vehicle you own. It was driven through Newark by somebody else. And when the vehicle came back to Jersey City, it had bullet holes in it. So, like, is this at all based in reality, or is this just pure rumor that got out of control?
I mean, I guess there's an active investigation, but I could definitively tell you that, I was never operating a vehicle and it got shot up or anything like that. But there is an active investigation going on, and whatever concludes with that investigation, I'm fine either way. I didn't do anything, so I'm good either way.
Okay, fair enough then. So, have you given any thought who's going to swear you in January?
Oh wow, this is G14 classified information. Now, I have given thought. I have looked into several individuals. We've been in contact with several individuals. And again, we will have more clarity of that when the lead of municipalities are over next week on who's going to do the swearing in. So I have given it thought to your question, yes.
Okay, so it sounds like it's going to be someone that people will know and be excited to see. Would that be fair?
Yes. That's an accurate assessment.
Cool. So during the campaign, the whole 10-seat, I should say, campaign, there was this permeating belief from Team Fulop, right, that all the independents are going to work with Councilman Solomon to try to like overthrow or impede the administration, and anyone running with the mayor is working to basically move the administration forward. So obviously, you know, it's in the rear view now. You're in the minority for now. It's 6-2. We'll see what happens with the Ward C runoff. But what do you think of that belief, and what do you think of how that impacts your approach moving forward for the next 4 years?
I mean, I just could say for me, right? I can only speak for me and for my campaign and for my constituency. I'm going to do best by the people, right? I'm not getting caught up in this, oh, it's this group versus that group and things of that nature. The reality is I have a job to do, is to represent the constituency of Ward F. So that's what I'm focused on. And like I said, I can work with anybody. I have a proven track record of being able to work with people. Is there going to be instance where I'm going to be banging my head against the wall and other council people are going to be banging their heads against the wall? You can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be instance like that. But at the end of the day, my job is to fight for the constituency of Ward F, right? Even if it was all independent council candidates on the council. It doesn't matter. The job of the council person, the job of me to represent Ward F is to advocate for that constituency. And that's what I'm going to do.
Frank, thank you so much. Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for coming in. Congratulations again.
Yes, yes.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. We're not done yet, but we'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John R. Highness. Like I said, we're going to talk about a couple bills out of Trenton from some of our assembly reps, 2 of our assembly reps to be exact. First, let's talk about this bill from Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee, right? So this is sponsored by him, Pamela Lampitt. She's from the 6th District, John McKeon from the 27th District. And this piece of legislation would establish a loan program for local school districts to acquire electric school buses, and this cleared the Assembly Appropriations Committee this week. So why is this important, and why is this even a conversation right now? As you guys probably know from our reporting, there's a school bus shortage in the Jersey City Public School District, and this is not new to Jersey City, to New Jersey, or really the country. This is something that's happened since the COVID-19 pandemic, and people are trying to get creative to solve this problem. Just a lot of people are switching industries, and one of those industries happens to be the school bus driving one. So this is an interesting piece of legislation, A 1626, And specifically what it would do, it would require the New Jersey Economic Development Association, in consultation with the New Jersey Department of Education and the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, to develop and administer a loan program to obtain these school buses. So we're not clear on what the cost would be. This has never been done before. But that would also have to take into account setting up charging stations and any other sort of equipment they may need too. So the three legislators came out and they explained why they decided to put this up. So diesel and gas-powered school buses emit pollution and greatly deteriorate air quality in our state. We want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in our communities and ensure that our residents and children are breathing cleaner air. Changing to electric-powered school buses will allow us to transition to a more environmentally friendly means of transportation. They continue, electric school buses can substantially reduce future costs that will allow school districts to ultimately allocate money towards other areas of need. So, this is welcome news. I've seen this reposted by a lot of people that pay a lot of attention to, again, the Jersey City Public Schools. Obviously, it's no secret. We talk about almost every week that the state cuts are significant. The local budget is going up pretty much every year at this point. We're going to be approaching $1 billion budget sooner than later, probably the next 2 to 3 years. So this is something that might help offset some costs. Of course, this is still in its infancy, but it is moving forward, so we're going to keep an eye on that and see what happens. So now let's talk about something totally different, but this is about holding Modivcare accountable. So if you're not familiar with Modivcare, we had a story, I believe that was just last week, no more than 2 weeks ago. They're this state contracted business. They get a $100 million contract. And what they're supposed to do is when they get calls, they're supposed to go to the person's home and they're supposed to transport them to medical appointments. Well, we heard, thanks to the great work of New Jersey Together, through their Morris chapter specifically, that they are chronically late. They often don't show up. They sometimes leave for very poor reasons, I guess would be the easiest way to sum it up. Like we had one example of a woman with a service dog. The ride would show up. They did not want to accommodate the dog, and she's just left in the dust. That was one example we saw come through during their press conference that they held virtually. Now, one of the people that's been helping them is Assemblyman Nick Travelati. And again, as I said at the top of the program, he's the vice chair of the Assembly Health and Human Services Committee. And this would establish a coordinator to oversee transportation services provided to clients. And he's co-sponsored here by Assembly members Daniel Benson, who's of the 14th District, and Valerie Vaneri Huddle of the 37th District. And I'm sure you probably know she is the sister of the Board of County Commissioners Chair, Anthony Vaneri. So with that in mind, what exactly would this do? So let's talk about the rationale first. This is, again, a joint statement from the three sponsors. Many of our most vulnerable residents rely on the services provided by the Department of Human Services to complete essential activities, obtain critical support, and improve their daily lives. If clients do not receive the transportation they need to access these services, it can have a significantly harmful impact on their health and well-being. Employing a transportation planning coordinator will help the department ensure reliable transportation for the many New Jerseyans who need it. So this is Bill A2441. It would, again, require the New Jersey Department of Human Services to reestablish the role of transportation planning coordinator. And it goes on to say that it would need to be someone that is qualified, which is always nice. And the responsibilities would include ensuring the efficacy and efficiency of transportation services provided to clients, overseeing the transportation providers contracted by the department to confirm compliance with all applicable laws, monitoring and reporting any driver or vehicle issues, things that sound like common sense but just haven't been happening in recent memory. So what do I mean? When we're talking about Modivcare, their self-reported data shows that drivers were over 30 minutes late more than 400,000 times in 2020 out of about 2 million round trips. And similar numbers are reflected in the first 6 months of 2021 with more than 200,000 rides showing up over a half hour late. And there's more, but you can see our previous report on that. We're going to take one final break. We'll be right back.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick. built to defy expectations.
Hudson County View live on Uncut, John Arhitis. And again, as everybody obviously knows, today is Veterans Day, so we want to, of course, recognize all those who serve, as I said at the top of the program. So I just want to briefly talk about what happened at Elysian Park today in the Mile Square City. So this was a joint event between the city of Hoboken and American Legion Post 107. They do this every year, and it's usually a pretty brief ceremony like it was this year, about 15 to 20 minutes. But again, it's just a way to commemorate the day and make sure our veterans are recognized as they very much deserve. So from today's ceremony, we heard from Legion Post Commander John Carey. He said some of us enlisted, some of us were drafted, but the bottom line is we served. Veterans are defending us 365 days a year. Their heroism has been demonstrated time and time again. Sometimes that heroism has gone unnoticed by those of us who enjoy the security that their sacrifice has provided. May we never forget. May we always remember the great sacrifices that they have made, especially those that have given their lives. We must appreciate their sacrifice, and we must thank them. As you could expect, pretty much everyone that spoke during the ceremony echoed a similar sentiment. So I'm not going to say anything further since we're short on time. I did want to highlight a couple of things that had nothing to do with electoral politics or Veterans Day, but they are related vaguely. So I'm going to talk about a September 2020 incident where a Jersey City police officer shot an alleged armed assailant. So we heard from city officials last year. We heard from the prosecutor's office, of course, the county prosecutor's office last year, and that there's no body camera footage from the incident, which is I just found out yesterday, according to a spokeswoman from the HCPO. And it was a pretty succinct statement, but it said the investigation is still pending and there was no body-worn camera footage. So, you know, pretty straightforward. But a bit of a surprise to activists that were expecting to take a look at this and evaluate what happened. We heard last year from Public Safety Director James Shea, and he explained that the police unit was doing a stakeout and they noticed somebody go to a car, get a gun, and basically declined to say a whole lot else other than surveillance footage would be released at the appropriate time, which is, of course, when the investigation's concluded. We heard from the HCPO, who said that this individual picked up a gun, and that's when he was shot in the wrist. No one sustained any serious injuries. Again, we're awaiting the conclusion of the investigation. And on a similar vein, there was a jail riot at the Hudson County Correctional Facility in Kearney at their max security unit, and the county is claiming there's no body camera footage there either. The big difference, the key difference that I need to point out is that the incident at the jail occurred after the New Jersey Attorney General directive about body cameras came out in May, and obviously the incident in Jersey City was prior to that. And just extremely quickly, a congratulations to West New York's Adelini Plaza. She was appointed the West New York clerk at last night's meeting. Another very quick one, but a significant appointment. She replaces Carmela Ricci, who had many decades of service over there in North Hudson. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next week.